Hi everyone, it's Amanda Jean, and I am doing a second pregnancy update. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this, and I am also doing something very dangerous, and I don't have any notes. I'm just winging this one. Um, Mostly because I did the um, pregnancy stuff that no one wants to talk about, and I feel like that has most of what would be an update. Um, but I just I like watching pregnancy updates, so I thought I'd do one for you guys. And also, no, there's no also. I think I want to start by showing off the bump, give you an idea of just how large I am. It's, oh my gosh, you can't even really like. Yeah, that's my huge belly right there. Um, yeah. So let's start there. I'm huge. Um, I I get comments from strangers that I look ready to have the baby any minute, and from people that I know, they're like, "You look miserable," and um, it's not fun. I am also really, really heavy. I am huge and I am heavy. We went to the doctor earlier this week and got me weighed. I weigh 160 pounds. Before I was pregnant, I weighed about 119. Like I never weighed 120, it was always like 119. So I gained about 40 pounds. I am huge. And I can tell you, I am not gaining it anywhere else. My fingers are a little bit fatter than normal, so I can't wear my wedding ring anymore. Um, but like my fingers and my feet are not swollen. You can see my face looks normal for a 30-year-old. Um, my my arms are fine. Like I'm, it's all the stomach. It might be a little bit the breasts too, because the breasts have gotten a little bit bigger. But it's the stomach, and it's been tough. Because even though I'm not really sick anymore, I am really heavy, and that puts a lot of pressure on my back. So I can't do a lot at a time. Even though I have a back like support strap, um, it still isn't quite enough. It is helpful, so I'll wear it when we go grocery shopping, or if we're gonna go run a lot of errands or something, then I'll wear the support strap. But I still can end up with back pain by the time we get home. It is what it is. I'm really heavy. Um, we went to the doctor earlier this week because the last time we went to the doctor, she was concerned that the baby was measuring big because I'm huge. And so I went to get an ultrasound earlier this week, and they did all of the measurements and checked all of the growth and everything. And the baby is actually about average, but there's more amniotic fluid than is normal. And they checked everything to make sure, because apparently, if you have too much amniotic fluid, it can mean that there's a birth defect or some other problem with the baby. We just barely are okay. We're just a little bit over the amount of amniotic fluid that is normal, and we're not high enough in amniotic fluid for there to be a problem, which I'm still freaking out about because I'm like, oh great, there might be a problem. I don't think there is. I think we're okay. But that's where we're at. I'm trying to think of anything. I'm getting iron infusions now, which are painful, or at least this first one was. I've only done one infusion. Apparently, you're supposed to do 3 infusions over a period of about 28 days. And the first 2 infusions are supposed to be about 2 hours long. and the last infusion is supposed to be about 3 hours long. And when I went to do the first infusion, it hurt a lot. It hurt so much that they had to slow down the rate that it was going into my body. We were there at the infusion center for 4 hours. I'm really hoping that it was just because it was the vein having a hard time with an IV and not because iron infusions are just awful. Because if so, then we're going to have to be there for 4 hours again next time. And that means we're going to be there after the infusion place closes, and some poor nurse is going to have to be there with me after closing. But yeah, as far as my experience so far, iron infusions hurt, and they are no fun. I'm eating a lot. Earlier in the pregnancy, I was having like one big meal a day, and it was always breakfast or lunch. And then I would just kind of graze for the rest of the day. I wasn't super hungry, and I'm kind of like always hungry. I'm trying not to eat all the time because then I end up getting over full, and then I'm still hungry even though I'm over full, and I don't know what to do about that. So I'm trying to just eat a little bit more because I am eating for 2 people. But not overeat. And I know that eating for 2 is a very cliche phrase, and often people are like, you're not really eating for 2. Here's my argument. I think that in the beginning of your pregnancy, when the baby is microscopic, that you're not eating for 2. However, when you get to be huge, as I am, and the baby is starting to grow kind of exponentially, because you're at the end of the pregnancy, that's when I think you're eating for 2, because the baby needs as much nutrients and whatever to grow as possible, so your body's like, I need to eat. That's just what I think. I do not have gestational diabetes, which is another thing that the ultrasound people asked me multiple times while I was there, to make sure that that wasn't what was causing me to be so big and causing the baby to be big, because that's what happens when you have gestational diabetes. But I don't have it. So we're good there. I have to go get my RhoGAM shot next week, which I'm not looking forward to. If you have negative blood, you have to get a RhoGAM shot during your pregnancy and after the delivery of the baby, so that you don't kill your child, and you don't kill your next child. The RhoGAM shot hurts really bad. When you get it in your butt, it does not really hurt. But they won't do that anymore. They'll only give it to you in your arm now. And I know because I got it in my butt when I was pregnant. And then after I had my daughter, they asked me if I wanted it in my butt or on my arm. And I didn't want to move, so I was like, just do it in the arm. And it hurt. Like, it burns. It hurts so badly. And now I don't have a choice, and I have to get it in my arm. Ugh. Boo. Anyway, trying to think. It's hard to clip my toenails now, because I can't bend over this huge tummy. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I don't want my husband to do it, but I don't know if I really can afford to get a pedicure. But I'm still not getting a lot done around the house. I tried to do a load of laundry once, and it hurt my back really, really bad. So I can't do laundry because it's a lot of bending over, you know? I don't know. So I think I've covered all of my symptoms and everything that's going on right now. I'm doing, oh, I forgot one. I am super congested. It is terrible. Um, oh, and I have really bad heartburn. I talked about that in the other one. But yeah, I have really bad congestion too. Um, I think this video would be a good time to address my choice for labor or for how the birth is going to happen. I am choosing to have a planned cesarean section. Um, when my daughter was born, she was an emergency C section, and that was really, really tough. Um, but throughout this pregnancy, I have had some experiences and have had talks with my doctor and have had talks with my family, um, and have decided that doing another C-section would be the best choice for me and this baby. I'll give you some of my reasons, although I don't owe you any. Um, one of my reasons is because I think that my body is too small to properly birth a baby. Um, my OBGYN told me that she read the notes from my daughter's birth and she said, "You did everything you were supposed to do, you did everything right," and she just got stuck. So it's very possible that I just don't don't have a body that is equipped to properly birth a child. And I know that that sounds crazy, but I have aunts who are in the same boat. So that was one of them. Another reason was because my my doctor went on this fancy doctor website where they have a calculator that takes into consideration all of your stats and stuff and tells you your probability of being able to have a baby without an emergency C-section. I had a 51% chance of having the baby without having to do an emergency C-section. And I know that that's just a little over 50, but I'm not comfortable with that statistic. And the thing is, when I had my daughter, I went through natural labor for at least 10 hours, and then I pushed fruitlessly, obviously, but I still pushed for like an hour or two trying to get the baby out, and then I had an emergency surgery, and it was exhausting. Um, uh, Births are exhausting no matter what you do. Um, People who are able to have the baby naturally, they're really tired after they push a baby out, right? But also, surgery takes a lot out of you as well. So I had done both things, and the next day I couldn't keep my eyes open. And so I would rather skip all of that and just have one exhausting experience. And I also think that a planned surgery is going to be a lot less exhausting than an emergency surgery, because with an emergency surgery, there's a lot of things to be afraid of because you've already been in labor, so there's complications and things, and you've already had to worry about the state of the baby, and now you have to worry about if things are going to be okay during the surgery, and it's hard. And I don't want to do that. I know I have a 51% chance, but that's still, in my opinion, not a high enough chance for me to want to risk that. I want to be able to hold my baby and not I I want to be present. I want to be present. And I know that it won't be easy because surgery is surgery, but I think it will be a lot easier than the first one was. And then with the concerns about the size of the baby, that was another thing that made my doctor like, yeah, it's a good thing we're doing a C-section. It's in the doctor's office. When I started talking to the doctor about doing a planned C-section, I felt an overwhelming feeling of peace. And like this was the best decision for me and the baby. And then throughout the pregnancy, with little things that have happened throughout, there have just been little like confirming moments of like, yes, this is the path we are to take. And so I kind of wanted to take a second to address every birth is a birth. I felt like a failure when my daughter was an emergency C-section. I felt like I had failed at doing the thing that I was supposed to be able to do. And everyone's like, the important thing is that you and the baby are healthy and alive. And I'm like, screw you. You don't understand that I failed as a woman. And let me know if you've been there, because it's hard. And I would look at my C-section scar and I would feel terrible, or every time that it hurt, I would just be reminded of my failures, and I felt like because she was a C-section that my daughter and I were deprived of bonding moments, and that it was hard for us to be able to just do what you do when a baby is born. We struggled with nursing. We eventually got it. But I just felt like everything was because I failed, because I just couldn't hack it. And now I'm choosing to. Now I'm choosing not to go through labor. And I want you to know that whatever choice you pick is the best choice for you and your baby. As long as you're doing your best to make sure that the two of you survive and are healthy, that's what really matters. And I know that some of you might not be in a place where you're ready to hear that, because you're like, yeah, I don't care that that was the choice that mattered. Yeah, we're both alive, but I still failed. Let yourself have feelings. It's okay to feel that way, but for when you're ready to hear it, you didn't do anything wrong. I think that's the very important thing, is you didn't do anything wrong. There's all kinds of reasons why emergency C-sections have to happen. There's a lot of reasons why planned C-sections have to happen. And eventually you'll be able to square with it. And but there are plenty of resources if you need one. I think you can get them through your doctor. If not, I think you can look online. But yeah, so that's my choice. My choice is to have a planned C-section. I believe that it will be the best choice for me and my baby and my husband. my husband had to watch everything that I struggled with the first birth, and I think it will be a lot easier for him to be there for me and the baby with this plan. Um, yeah, any a birth is a birth, and and I am looking forward to being able to be awake. That's like the thing I'm most looking forward to, is being able to be awake when my son is born. Um, I don't think I have any other updates. Um, things are going well except for iron infusions, which suck. Um, we're all looking forward to meeting the baby. I'm super done being pregnant, but I am trying to just accept and move forward that this is where we're at. We've got about 2 more months before he's due. Um, and we'll and my doctor also says I'm probably not going to make my due date. So, there's that too. um, it's a planned C-section, but if my contractions are, what is it, 5 minutes apart, 5 to 7 minutes apart, go to the hospital and say, hey, I have a planned C-section. Or if my water breaks, same thing. And I am hoping, because my daughter was born on Sunday night / Monday morning. I went into labor on Sunday. And so my sincerest hope is that my baby boy will be born during the day on a weekday. That's what I want. That's what I want so badly. So that's where we're at. But yeah, if you are pregnant, let me know where you're at in your pregnancy. If you have absolutely no plans to have a baby, because no, I want to hear about that too. I really respect that decision that a lot of women make of like, I'm just not doing that to myself. I get it. I really get it. And give me a like, and we'll see you next time. Bye.